Hello, hello, hello there. Welcome to episode 6 of Opinionated Diva presents Plenty of Tiff. I'm your host, Tiffany, aka Opinionated Diva, and let's just jump right into it. But before we do that, I do have a social dilemma. So let's picture it. Say you had a Christmas party maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and someone left something at your house that you could either use or wear. Let's say it's a cute sweater with a Dalmatian on it. And you don't really know what to do with this absolutely fabulous and cute sweater because it's so cute. And you don't take pictures in it for 3 or 4 years. You wash it, you hang it up. You did go to brunch once, but you didn't take any pictures because you felt guilty. But then you decide you're going to record a podcast episode wearing this cute Dalmatian sweater. What do you do? Well, really, it's not a social dilemma because I already did it, right? So this is a declaration to K-Day. K-Day, yes, this is your sweater. You left it at my house at a Christmas party like 3 or 4 years ago, and I've been trying not to wear it, but it is so freaking cute. And if you want it back, I promise my number is still the same, girl. Just text me, and I promise to send it to you. Or if it's a gift, that's cool too. But anyway, I do feel guilty about it, but it's so cute. And I was like, I want to be comfortable doing this episode, okay? Let's start with Diva Drop. I have to. I can't move any further without honoring Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr., who passed away this past week. It's Black History Month. I really do think it's only fitting that he passed away during Black History Month, and so that's going to solidify his legacy as well. If you don't know, I think he was 84 years old. He's been battling Parkinson's and other rare neurological disorders for some time. So he's been fighting a good fight for quite some time. And he isn't just a leader. He actually stood on the balcony in Memphis, where our Martin Luther King Jr. was murdered. And since that time, he's been carrying that torch for over 50 years. And he even got to see history when we elected the first Black president of the United States, 44, my forever president, Barack Obama. Now, yes, we do know that he had controversies over the years, his entire tenure, from his presidential campaign of himself, all the way to having some choice words for then presidential candidate Obama, but they moved on from that, and we have to. I don't want that to be drowning in his legacy because that's what some of the media seems to focus on about his story past. But I want to say for people like myself, and people in my community, if you are a Black person and you were in corporate America, or you are someone like myself who attended a predominantly white institution for college, if you've ever felt empowered to say, I am somebody, then Jesse Jackson paved the way for that and for us. And so he didn't just ask for a seat at the table, he brought his own chair. And before there was Black Girl Magic, before there was Black Boy Joy, Jesse Jackson was telling us, I may be poor, but I am somebody. I may be on welfare, but I am somebody. He gave us our dignity back when the world was trying to strip it away from us. And he taught us that our value isn't based on our bank account, but our existence. But I must say, I want my bank account to match my rich auntie energy. I do. If I was a rich girl, na 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 na, said I'd have all the money in the world if I was a wealthy girl. However, back to Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. His son, Yusef Jackson, is now leading the Rainbow Push Coalition, and his other children, Jonathan and Jesse Jr., are carrying on that political torch, and we have to keep hope alive. The work does not stop, and boy, do we have a lot of work to do. So, again, just giving that shout out and dedication to Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. on his passing. So, let's get into what we're really here for, okay? This is the Diva Drops of Diva Drops since Plenty of Tiff has started. We're talking about Tyra Banks. We're talking about America's Next Top Model. 25 years later, we're talking about the Netflix documentary Reality Check. Before TikTok and social media, influence, in quotes, wasn't something that you built like we do now. It was something that you were granted. And it was very slim pickings back in the day, right? So you had to be granted that by working at somewhere like Abercrombie and Fitch. shopping in somewhere at like 579, Charlotte Russe, Forever 21, right? Hoping somebody in the mall noticed you. Or they were lurking like pseudo pedophiles that would be called Barbizon. Barbizon, if honey, if you were of age during that time, right? This is about teen area, like 12 to about 16. Barbizon told anybody you have what it takes, me included. And here we are. So anyway, that was what it was like back then, right? And so there was nothing at that time, right? This is the late 90s, early 2000s. There was nothing during that time for adults. Either you were trying to be a child star or you were in the mall hoping to be scouted by somebody. That is how you got to be not only famous, but to be a model or to be an actor or to be an actress or to be a singer. And that is how you got it, right? There was no YouTube. There was none of that. And so think about adults, right? 18 and up. And so not to age myself, but I was in that category, right? I was an adult at that time. There was no space for me to be like, I really want to make it, right? I really want to make it doing this. There was nowhere to do that. And then comes along America's Next Top Model, right? Where at the time, if you were a model type, and back then, I think heroin chic was the thing. So back then, if you were skinny and tall, you at least had 50% chance, right? Of hoping that there was something. And now there's this show that you can go on and you can say, this is why you need me, rather than someone looking to scout for you. And I like to give that context because I can't speak to that time when opportunity was slim for adults, 18 and up, on what they could do outside of the norm, right? Whether that's go to college or whatever it is that you want to do. Most want to get out of their small hometown or get out of the job they were at. That is what most of those young ladies were doing when they applied for the first cycle of America's Next Top Model. So when we get into the documentary, I do want to provide that context with, yes, they were young, but they also were adults, right? Many of these models like Tyra and Kamora, and they were 16, 15 when they got scouted and they were thrown into that. So imagine the hell they had to go through. So I think someone even mentioned on the documentary, I think it was Danielle, that she does think Tyra's intentions were good. And I do too. And I have a little different take on the documentary itself, but we're going to get into that. Out of that entire documentary, I really feel a way except for Shandy. Everybody should feel the same way about Shandy. Everybody should. She needs help. Still, that girl still has trauma beyond anybody. I don't care what else happened to you on America's Next Top Model. Shandy has trauma beyond anybody that was on that show. And for her to be on that documentary, standing tall, looking beautiful, and reliving that for the world all over again, even though it's already on the internet, like I just give her all the like flowers for that. And I know that she said in the documentary, if you haven't watched it, honey, it's too late because everybody's talking about it. She said, everybody was talking about what they're doing now. And for the most part, they're all successful. To me, they look successful in terms of where they are relative to their existence, right? She said that I think she was joking, but she said she was still at Walgreens. Honey, I hope that's not true. But she said that she wants to own an animal sanctuary. This is a PSA to Tyra Banks. Do you have a middle name, Tyra? This is a PSA. Buy that girl a farm. I want cattle. I want horses. I want pigs. I want baby lambs. I want chickens. I want all that. All that on the farm for her. I want it to be Noah's Ark out this bitch for Shandy. And if I can contribute to that, I will, Shandy. If you start to GoFundMe, girl, I really will contribute to you getting that farm that you deserve. Okay. So if you're not familiar with Shandy, she was the Walmart or Walgreens girl turned high fashion. But it was clear on that show that they didn't want her talent. They wanted her trauma. And I, like most of those who watched it, had a hard time with like, is this all Tyra's fault? But unless you've been in the industry, Tyra's just a puppet like everybody else, just higher on the puppet list. You know what I mean? And so when people are saying Tyra, I do get that. I do, like when we boycott, whatever we boycott, we talk about the person at the top because you're the representation of that. So I totally get that. But I do feel like some of that was directed unwarrantedly. Is that even a word? It was unwarranted direction towards her, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But back to Shandy. what happened to you was not okay. And I just want to say that because, people have their opinion. And if you think back on it too, like right now, think about right now, if you wanted to make it in this world, you don't have to go on reality TV. You can sit right in front of your YouTube, in front of your Twitch, or in front of your whatever you be doing, the streaming, and be a gazillionaire. You can get on YouTube, start playing guitar, playing some. That's how you can build yourself right now. That did not exist then. So for Tyra to offer the opportunity in and of itself, and again, yes, people were young, but at 18, you are an adult. I know I moved out of my mom's house at 18. I went to college. I rarely called her for anything. And if I did, she said no. Like, you want to be an adult? Now you are one. But now make adult decisions. Yes, I wasn't my same at even 21 that I was at 18 or 24 or 28 or 30. Like, I was not. So I'm not saying anything about that. But keep in mind, honey, at 18 plus, when you sign that contract, it's why it's important to read contracts too. But I think they reached that. So again, I'm not going anywhere with that. Again, like, now, right now, if you want a reality show and you don't make it out of the top 25, you still have an opportunity, girl, to be a Fashion Nova or a Sheen ambassador. Don't you? Don't you? Right? So The Voice, I don't know half, actually 99.9% of the people who win The Voice. I don't know where they are. Are they huge stars? I don't know. I do not know. American Idol, unless you like, the ones you see, right? I just think every reality show, just know what it means. It's entertainment, right? So no matter what the end goal is or what they're trying to promote, positivity and all that, at the end of the day, if it don't get ratings, it ain't gonna stay on. That's just what it is, right? And I'll get into that a little bit later, especially for those of you who've been criticizing Tyra so heavy about America's Next Top Model 25 years later. Honey, anyway, it was clear in this documentary to me that they did not want success stories, even if some of them on the documentary were the winner and their life just didn't take off like we think it should take off if you won something, right? And if I'm honest, Shandy aside, I think the Biggest Loser documentary actually shed more light on emotional and physical abuse than America's Next Top Model. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. And those were adults in their 20s, their 30s, and their 40s, and even, I think, even their 50s. That was some physical and emotional abuse. But I even have my choice words about that too, because you're an adult. You went on there and you have to have self-agency for yourself. You know what I mean? But back to America's Next Top Model. Again, imagine what you would do to make it. Imagine what you would do if you had the opportunity. And so this is where I'm going to go in on some of you. Talk about Tyra. I can't believe it was so horrible how she did those girls and put them in those situations and all that. But y'all have no problem watching these housewives drag each other out and fight and pull out extensions and flip tables and be drunk and get DWIs and all that shit. You have no problem with that, right? You have no problem seeing baddies make a complete fool of themselves, and most of them being people of color and Black women. You have no problem. You love it, actually, to see it, right? Women's empowerment? Where? You watch half-naked women and men, right? Drunk, because they do provide alcohol, right? You let them, you love it. You love to watch them get drunk, just like Shandy, make out on Love Island. You love it, don't you? Olandria, girl, I love you. Says nothing against you, because yes to you. But you all love to see that. So how is that any different? How is it? And I'm pretty sure 25 years from now, somebody from Love Island just might say, I was drunk and I don't even know what happened. They just might say that. Not saying it happened. And I know there are protections in place now that they monitor how much you're drinking and all that. Honey, save it, but whatever. You all laugh at the sanctity of marriage. You do. On 90 Day Fiance. But marriage supposed to mean so much. But you love seeing that. You love seeing it fall apart after 90 days, right? We love seeing that. And don't get me on love at first sight. Don't even get me on that. Talking through a peephole. Don't tell me that is not glorified soft porn. Do not. And y'all know, those of you who watch porn, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And even if you don't, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Fight your mama, not me. You make fun of true crime addicts like myself. But honey, you are one group therapy a session away with me watching Life After Lockup or Love After Lockup. Honey, that is a criminal show waiting to happen. Literally. But we love it, right? So my thing is, we're talking about America's Next Top Model and how horrible Tyra treated them. And so maybe these shows don't have a host, or the hosts aren't rooting for them and yelling at them on TV and all that stuff. But there's a production behind that. There are still things that I think we should not be glorifying, but it makes for good TV and we watch it. So we think because, oh, they're not doing what they were doing back then, or because the video looked different or the lighting looked different. Honey, it's the same thing, just different lighting and a different set. Straight up. So all the negative backlash about a show like American, I'm just not seeing it. I really am not. And like, there are girls right now, and they will never, because they love that New York Fashion Week and that Paris Fashion Week and that Milan Fashion Week check. They know what they're going through right now, right now. And they're never going to say anything about it because they want that check. Not that that makes them worse or better at all. All I'm saying is there are people right now going through that. And if we're honest, 95% of the celebrities that we know now, right? They didn't go to acting school. They didn't go to Yale drama school. Not all of them. They were on Twitch, or they were streaming, or they were TikTok influencers or Instagram, which is, honey, when I say get your money, I would never block anybody's bag. I will not. Get your money. But it wasn't that easy. And not saying it's easy, not saying it's easy, but it wasn't that simple then. The formula just was not there. I'm not really understanding I don't understand why America's Next Top Model didn't look out for me again, except Shandy. Except Shandy. But the thing is like, even with Danielle, and like, please don't come for me, Danielle, because I love you. And I do believe, especially, I used to have a gap too. And I closed it on my own because I wanted to. Honey's coming back. That's a whole other story. I want new teeth. Anybody want to give me a brand partnership with new teeth? I'm willing to travel. But that's what happens when you go onto a show. I don't understand what they're not going to remember you. You were just moving. They shuffle you along. I'm going to give you an example. I know someone that was on a national morning show. And that morning show, they were on a segment for a good 6-7 minutes, right? Now imagine, there are some comedians who go on late night and they only want 1 minute to do their bit to try to make it, right? So I know this person that was on a national morning show for like 6-7 minutes, had a ball, just knew, oh, things gonna roll for that girl, right? Where is she now? I'll just say, you know, she has a makeshift studio in her apartment, trying to do a podcast, trying to get people to look at it. I don't get any calls from the producers, and they're great. They're amazing. They're getting awards literally right now. I'm lucky they even know my name. You see what I'm saying? And so, but am I like, I would hope that Jenna would call me, girl, Jenna, girl, I'm funny, help me out. No. And again, I'm compared to Next Top Model, honey, I'm budget Barbie down here. So I'm not saying anything, but I'm just really trying to understand the correlation of what do you think is supposed to happen when you leave a show that you signed up for, that you endured, and that you won or didn't win, and now you're left on your own to make whatever mess or success it is out of that, right? So again, like that show, they didn't have Eva on there. They didn't have Yaya on there. They didn't have Winnie on there. Right? They didn't have them on there because I'm pretty sure, and again, they might come, I know Eva just did like an interview and all that. They may come on and say some negative things, but I feel like some things are a springboard. Again, if you felt things were done to you that were unjust, then that's totally different. All bets are off. But I just didn't get that from the documentary. Did Tyra seem a little bit out of touch? Yes, but I mean, she'll tell you that she's like that in general. You know what I mean? So I don't know. So in addition to her throwing us for a loop just because her hot smize ice cream, honey, I could do a whole episode on that, but I'm not. Okay. And it's not hot ice cream anymore because the Australian authorities, the food authorities, told her it don't meet the standards, and now it's just called hot ice cream. But anyway, guess what? We ain't doing that with her. She also mentioned at the end of that documentary, cycle 25. Now I want to see how many of you that's talking cash shit about America's Next Top Model going to sign up for it. You ain't got to be someone like who likes to be in front of the camera or doing a commentary. Just somebody who's talking shit in your living room right now with your friends about tyrabanks, but who's going to sign up to be on America's Next Top Model Cycle 25. Also, shout out to Jay, Miss J, and Nigel, because they still look good. I would love to talk to them and get the real teas. Okay. So, if you want to be on top, I don't know. So that's me. That's my spiel on that. That's my diva drop. It was all over the internet. Everybody has an opinion about it. And I do think, especially all the women that were on there, everybody's feelings were valid. I wasn't there. I don't know. Some of those shoots were questionable, but we tuned in. I stopped watching after a while. I think I just got too old for it. I think when it started changing, it just got too much for me. But let me know your thoughts. What were your thoughts on, because everybody got some, honey. Let me know your thoughts were on America's Next Top Model reality check Netflix docu-series, okay? Now, for shine or shade or side eye, we're going to move on from women recounting trauma to women counting medals. And I'm talking about Olympic medals, okay? Let's get into the Olympics. While the men are out here acting a fool, the ladies are collecting hardware and thanking people who actually made it happen for them, right? So the big story is figure skating. Big up to Alyssa Liu. Is it Elisa or Alyssa? I should know this. I'm always watching things on mute. But she just ended a 24-year drought in U.S. women's figure skating by winning gold. Gold after 24 years. And this girl is only 20 years old. And she already retired because she got bored. Okay. Retired because she got bored, came back, did her gold medal routine to Donna Summer, MacArthur's Park Suite, the disco version. So shout out to Donna Summer, because honey, y'all about to listen to her because that song was made before Alyssa was born. But it's a hot song, so go back and listen to that. I want to say that this girl won gold with raccoon stripes in her hair, gum, teeth piercing in her mouth, and diva energy. She looked so comfortable out there on stage. I loved it all. And congratulations to her. I'm sure she will be back for the next Olympics. I think it's every 4 years for them, every 6, I can't remember, but she will definitely be back. And I guess I can say I'm proud of, no, I'm not. I'm proud of her. Thank you, Alyssa. Also in the news for Olympic history is Elena Myers Taylor. Again, is it Alana or Elena? I'm so bad with names, and I want to respect people how you pronounce it. So my bad for not getting that together before I started recording. But she is 41 years old. Okay. Okay. 40 something, 41, a mother of 2, and just won her first gold medal in the monobob. And it's almost like bobsledding, but it's like mono, so it's just her by herself. And when she gave her acceptance, so, after she won, she didn't just thank the US and her team. She thanked her nanny. So Alana is the mother to 2 special needs children. And when she won, she signed to her children, "Mommy won." I'm not going to cry right now because I'm a little emotional, but I love that for her. I love that it gets greater later, right? Do I miss my 20s? Not really. I do miss my 30s for sure. But time isn't stopping for me, right? So I can't dwell on getting older, but I can get better. I can start right now and be better. And this is what this woman has shown. And I just love her for that. She's the ultimate athlete that's not pretending that she's a super mom and can do it all. She needs help. And she has a nanny. So shout out to all the nannies, because I'm sure it's not just her, to all the nannies out there who make these athletes the superpowers that they are and bringing home these medals, whether it's gold, silver, or bronze, or even not. Even if you just miss out, just know that you are among the elite in the world in the sport to ever do it. So congratulations to all of them. Also, hockey. Honey, we just keep it coming. Women who run the world. Girls who run the world. Girls. So, Layla Edwards, the U.S. hockey team. She became the first Black woman ever to score an Olympic gold. And might I just say, I love historic moments, especially when it comes to Black people and Black women and people of color. But it's almost like a double-edged sword and a catch-22 that I hate that we still have to have historic first in 2026. Okay, but back to her because she's a trailblazer. She's 6'1". She's dominant, and she led a team to an overtime win against Canada. So, Layla, thank you, and thank you. We've taken over Cold Sports, honey. I don't know what to tell y'all. Get ready. Don't let us do anything, honey, because when we can, we come in full force, okay? Representation matters, but make it aggressive. Go, Layla. I love it. Now let's get to the men and the Olympics. Honey, y'all just can't act right. You just can't act right at all. Canada. Curlers. Honey, who even knew that curling, which it is a sport, and I'm not even saying I could do it, but I can mop the hell out of my apartment. I actually used to clean buildings back in the day as a part-time job, so don't come for me, curlers. I might just try out. But back to curling in Canada, the men's team. Sweden's Oscar Eriksson accused Canada's Mark Kennedy of double touching the stone. So if you haven't seen it, you've been living under a rock because everybody's talking about curling right now. It's been interesting for a whole 5 minutes, okay? But curling is when they have that stone on the ice and they kind of push it, and then you gotta like shuffle it all the way down, like try to knock out the other stones, right? But you're not supposed to touch the stone with your finger. But honey, what Sweden did is they said, "Oh, we're gonna get your ass. Or we're gonna get you." So what the guy Mark was doing was like, fuck off. He said, fuck off. I never did that. I never did that, honey, but he ain't know. They had a whole hidden camera right at the line. Right at the line. Honey, they saw his finger do this. Doop. Caught red-handed. And now they're like, oh, that was illegal. You can't be illegally recording us. Honey, the damage is done. But is it really? Is it? So we'll see what happens with that. Is Mark gonna get kicked off the team? I doubt it. Is he gonna get disqualified? He should. But if they're gonna overrule that based on illegal spy camera, when the footage is, but how many times? I'm not gonna get mad with 10, but how many times have we recorded something and nothing happened? So I'm not expecting much from this. But again, now curling's on the map. Again, right? When something's good and it's going great, nobody cares. If there's no drama, nobody wants to watch it. That's just the nature of the beast that we do. Okay. Now so what am I doing for Olympics? Definitely shining all the women. Shine, shine, shine to all the women. I am giving all the side eye to the men's curling situation. And I am shading Mark for knowing your ass touched that stone and you sat up there and lied, honey. It's like when I watch True Crime and they're in the interrogation room, you on camera, you literally dropped your cell phone with your face on it as a screensaver. And you said, that's not me. That's a real story. It actually happened. So now let's get to the next shine, shade, or side eye. Honey, I don't even know what to give this one. I'm gonna give this one a fix it Jesus. So that's beyond anything. Ray J in Shreveport, Louisiana for a Valentine's Day concert. Not only did he come out there in an orange jumpsuit like he was in jail, he was handing out roses and he had blood leaking from his eyes and he had a heart monitor on. I don't really know what he was going for, but all I can say, Ray J, is they wanted a One Wish performance, not a Saw reenactment. What in the horror movie hell were you thinking? I don't, I, and then his manager, honey, I don't know what kind of manager you are, but honey, if it's a lie, you said it. Your client's got a job to do. Do blood, sweat, and blood tears, I'm assuming. But I would just say that if you see your client up there, honey, leaking blood and a heart monitor allegedly somebody took the heart monitor. Ray J stopped. But anyway, why was the promoter and the stage manager called not an ambulance? I just don't understand what was happening at this concert. But backstage, sources are saying that they saw Ray J put red drops in his eyes. Ray J said that is not true. I would never lie about my health. I don't know. It's a whole circus at this point. I mean, he said he would never put fake blood on himself. He would never do that. Honey, I'm going to say that a sane person wouldn't even go on stage with a heart monitor and blood leaking from their eyes from high blood pressure or whatever the fuck is going on with your body. I think you need to be in the ICU. And now you're going on TMZ and all these shows. But now it's like, is it a gimmick? Your health should not be a gimmick. Are you such a narcissist or someone who needs attention that bad that you got to explain everything you do to the world, or you even have to be shown out in the world? Like, you should be taking care of your health. Honestly, health is wealth. And Ray J, I really want you to be healthy. I don't want you to die. I don't want that for you. So I don't know what the hell is going on. I really don't think it's funny. I think it's fucking stupid, actually, to be honest. And whoever your people are around you, get rid of every single one of them. Brandy, come get your brother. I can't. Apparently he was on the electric fly too in the audience. Ray J, Ray J. Okay. So I don't even know what to fix it, Jesus. That's what I'm giving that one. Now let's read the room. So I think it was Valentine's Day, and DJ Vlad, and I love hip hop, but I'm not a hip hop head like that. Like, I knew he existed, but I don't know much about him. I do know he's from the Ukraine, and he came here when he was 5 years old. I know that. And he's a quote hip hop historian, whatever the fuck that means. But on February 14th, he started sending out these wild ass tweets about how Rock Nation, how he's on Rock Nation payroll, how Jay-Z paid the jury in the Tory Lanez case, and how Jay-Z paid Trump to not pardon Tory Lanez, and how Meg Thee Stallion went and shot, and all these things that have real consequences of the people involved, right? These people have real lives and real families and real trauma and all that bullshit. And I'm just going to be honest, and I'm not making this a race thing, but do with it what you will. You come into a space, and I mean a black space, that has nothing to do with you. I'm not talking about hip hop. I'm not talking about any of that shit. I'm talking about black people with black people problems. So you go on there and you tweet something like Meg didn't get shot, which this girl has already been through the ringer about people calling her a liar and all of this shit, right? When you got Jay-Z and the Epstein files, like, you don't have, like, it's just all these things. Not saying his name ain't in there, because it is in there, whatever. But you don't understand the implications that you have when it's a black person, when you're talking about shit like that. Like, it's just, you don't have no clue. You don't have a fucking clue. You just don't. So that already got me annoyed. And then for you to come back the next day and say, oh, anybody who believed that, of course I was trolling. What? So he was on some live stream with Sneeko, honey. I don't even know who that is either, but I'm no one, so whatever. I just feel like some people call you a culture vulture. I don't really know, because I didn't know you were. I didn't even know you were white, to be honest, until this. But it does feel like you are exploiting a culture when you do shit like that. It just does. And for no other reason than you don't understand the implications that, even if it's only 24, look how it's been retweeted. Look how it's made. It made it to me. It made it to be something to talk about because it's made so much noise online. So you involving a black woman that got shot, like, I have no respect for you literally at all, just after that. If you're calling that trolling to prove a point, that's so ignorant. That's so ignorant. It's not media literacy. You're not proving anything about media literacy at all. All you're doing is showing that our trauma is something for you to get engagement and clicks and likes and retweets. And I ain't with that shit. You know, Meg has dealt with all this hate and all this, like, innuendo and all that about whatever the fuck was going on with it, whether it was true or not and all that bullshit, whatever. So you used her name to, like, even if it was only for a second, you just resurfaced all this conspiracy theory shit that, for what? And for why? For why? And also, I'm pretty sure you're getting paid off of all that. Somehow you're getting some monetization off of all this bullshit you're spewing out to prove a point. The arrogance of it all, the not being a part of it all, but wanting to be a part of it all. That. So my read the room for you is you're exploiting hip hop. You're exploiting the culture. You really are. And yeah, you know a lot about hip hop. The sky is blue. So what? So what? If you want to do a test and you want to try, make up a story about you. How about that? I want to say, I think you might have said, like, if you were still in Ukraine, you'd be at the age where you would be in the military and all that shit. Guess what? I know some people that actually volunteered to go back to Ukraine and fight for the country. You ain't do that shit. I said it. Just do what you do. Talk about hip hop. If that's what you like to do, talk about that. Ugh. Read the room. Anyway, that is all I have for Plenty of Tip this week. And it's been going good. I actually have been feeling good about it. I'm learning about trolls, honey. They come for me. Don't you worry. I have an audience of a pin drop, but honey, some in that pin drop do not like me. So, which is cool. You're supposed to get that. You gotta like let it roll off and all that. But if you have anything you want to talk about, and some of my friends do send me some stuff, I do take it into account. So please, please let me know if there's any topic that you want to talk about. I welcome comments and criticism and all that. I am Opinionated Diva on Instagram. I am the Opinionated Diva on TikTok. And I am the THEE Opinionated Diva on YouTube. And you can also find me on anywhere you listen to your podcast. But I need you to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend about my YouTube channel so I can get some subscribers and get this money. Okay? Because I am somebody. Thank you, Jesse Jackson Sr. Rest in power. Peace.